All right, all right. Hello, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us on episode 4 of Birds on Tap. I'd like to introduce our panel. We got Mr. Wood or Ice, aka Rob the Butcher. We got Steve. He has no nickname, just like me. I am Sig. So let's get started. How about some news, some updates, some camp news, some injuries? Looks like Makai Lemon, he hurt his hammy. So I guess Dontravian Wicks is taking first team reps. We knew Jihad Campbell was hurt with his shoulder. With him out, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is getting first team reps. I believe he did so last year also. And what else do we got, guys? Anything else? What am I missing?
No, I mean, we can go into talking about players and who we think is going to be most important this year towards offense, defense, positions, things like that. I think we can have something to talk about, and then in 4 months when the season starts or whatever, we can look back at this and be like, "Oh, all your takes are dumb."
Pretty much. Somebody will let us know too.
Alex got in with the first "fuck the Cowboys."
Yep.
Thank you, Alex. We can always count.
She's right to say so.
Right.
All right, so let's jump into this then. Let's see. All right, so in our opinion, who's the most important player at each position right now? So we'll look at the offense. So Rob, offensive line, who you got?
Offensive line, I have to go with the guy who's been there the longest. And I have to say that Lane, because when Lane is healthy, this offense really it's a different beast when Lane is healthy, and that's been throughout his career. Even this late in his career, when he's healthy, he's an absolute monster. He's a huge man. He's got a fucking bad attitude. He wants to beat people up. So I think everything, and we've seen what happens when he gets injured. I don't have their record with him in the lineup versus without pulled up. You have it?
It's 18-27, which is a .357 winning percentage.
And that's without.
That is without him. That doesn't count games that he was in and then got hurt and didn't finish. Those are just, you're not playing the game. 18-27 throughout his 13-year career.
Good Lord. See, I mean, if that doesn't tell you how important he is, you can go down the line. Do you guys agree or disagree, or are you guys thinking about somebody else?
Good, Steve. What do you got?
I would say, just in general, I mean, the whole offensive line, literally last year, they were just decimated with injury, and the injuries were just so bad that everybody struggled and everybody needs to do better. For me, if it's not Lane, I'm going Cam Jurgens. Cam didn't have a good year, and he was hurt for some of it. And when you have Landon Dickerson as your backup, here's Tria. I got some Aristeas too. I have the Fog. Yes, good beer. Thank you, Aristeas. With having Landon Dickerson being your backup center, that's not helpful when Cam Jurgens is hurt, because now you're moving two people out of position.
Correct.
And you don't have Stoutland anymore, where he's like, it's fine, everybody learns every position and stuff. And I don't know if that's being taught now or not. I'm sure it is, but whether or not you have somebody else moving with two different positions, just like Rob was saying with Lane, and then if for my guy Cam, if like I said, he's out, then Landon's moving over, and now you have another hole. That's why depth is so important, and they really struggled on the offensive line. I mean, in all honesty, they're all very important, and the most important part of them is health. They just need to stay healthy. If they're healthy, they're a great line. They really are.
Good point, Steve. Yeah, I mean, that was the problem. I think they're all getting a little long in the tooth, and they're getting injured more. But I don't think I could have picked two better guys than you picked. And, Lane Johnson was absent voluntary camp, and it's funny because Markel Bell took over. He's been getting first team reps right now, not Fred Johnson, which is interesting. So I think they really like that kid, and he's doing well. And he might be the heir apparent for Lane Johnson, because I don't know how much longer he has. But all right, let's.
How big is that dude?
He's like 12'6" and 700 pounds. Now, he's close to 7 feet, man. The dude is
he's
big.
done it so long.
The problem with him is he's got a high center of gravity, so he's got to get low. Otherwise he's just going to get knocked over. He's got to get low, and that just means he's going to be bending his knees, so he's going to take a beating in the knees. But I don't know.
6'9".
Yeah, he's
Lane size.
He's a big dude. He's a big dude. So I'm hoping for him. He sounds like a good kid and everything. So, but
Guys,
all right, let's.
I have a quick question. I have a quick thing, and I think I've thrown this out there before, but it's a controversial topic. It's the tush push, and I don't mean to re-litigate it or bring it back up, but we've had some injuries on the offensive line, and I know that a lot of the league, like the reason that the people who were against it, they would cite these health reasons, and we said that those health reasons were non-existent. But I can't help but think that is it a possibility that having all those huge guys landing on both Dickerson's back and Juergen's back for years has taken its toll? Are we looking at like injuries of attrition where it's just, slowly wearing them down? I know that neither one of them really had a chance to heal. I mean, Dickerson seems to be good. Juergen's, I don't think he ever really had a chance to fully heal. But do you think there's a possibility that the tush push is at least contributing to the offensive line injuries?
I wouldn't disagree with that. How could it not?
How
could it not? Right? How could it not? I mean, I'm sure it does. Nothing's come out specifically because of that. No one has ever really come out saying,
and they won't admit it
out hurting, grabbing their leg because they heard it on that play. Kelsey was all for it, but he said it's brutal. Everybody's falling on you. I'm sure it does. Guaranteed.
Yeah, he said that Kelsey had said he's like, it's a good play because it's effective. He's like, but again, everybody's on top of me. And, he was thinking about coming out of retirement when we signed Saquon. And then he thought about it. He's like, no, I don't want to. I've never seen anybody actually injured on the play. I think it is one of those things, though, where what has happened in the past has something to do with it. And I think that the tush push can be overused sometimes. I find it also humorous that when the Eagles were bad at it a year ago, all of a sudden nobody wants to file the complaint to get rid of it, and then you see other teams doing it. I even with other teams doing it, I've never legitimately seen somebody hurt on the play. However, it could be catastrophic towards the future, like going towards like knees and backs and things that, like Sig was saying, how like the offensive line never got healthy. So I feel like it does have something to do with that. But you also have to remember, we now have a new offensive coordinator that wasn't in the building, and the tush push is Nick Sirianni's play. If this is all going to be Mannion's offense, do we even know if the tush push is a play that would actually be in his portfolio?
And a new offensive line coach from outside the organization also.
Right. So, and the Packers were one of the teams who wanted it banned.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, they were the they were the main ones who did it a year ago or right after we won the Super Bowl, but then like this coming year, and other teams were doing it, and other teams that like nobody submitted anything now. So it's like, it's interesting. But back to the thing, like you were saying, I do think it long term. There's probably injuries, and maybe that does have something to do with with the offensive line this past year, and maybe that's why Mannion might not do it, because he doesn't want to wear them down. Like, we don't know what this offense is going to be like. They keep keeping all this stuff like under wraps, and we're not going to learn anything in the preseason. We're probably not going to learn anything till October, because nobody plays in the preseason, and the first like 3 games are always essentially preseason games, because people are missing passes and shit because they haven't played, you know?
So speaking of this offense, we know that it's going to change. So, and we already know, we'll talk a little more about specific changes, but let's talk about the wide receiver room. Who is the most important player in the wide receiver room, guys?
I would say for me, it's Dontavius Wicks. And I say that because I have no problems with Devontae Smith being the number 1 wide receiver. I believe he'll be fine and he'll excel. Wicks is coming in, and he was under, I understand Mannion, was the quarterback's coach, but he has an understanding of what this is going to look like, what he is bringing. And I think with him having a year or 2, I think he had 2 with Mannion. Mannion was there 2 years. Wicks was there the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's had 2 years to, like, understand or listen to what I know what the quarterback's going to do. I know that Jordan Love was going to throw the ball here to me. Like, he has a little bit of an understanding. And I think with bringing all these dudes in on like a 1-year deal, like your Hollywood Browns and your Elijah Moores and so on, I think Wicks is so important, because he's going to be like, I obviously Devontae's the number 1, but like, he's going to be an important guy. Like, people are going to ask him questions, and I want that. I want people to ask him questions, and having somebody who has an understanding of this Mannion offense I think that's a huge feather in the cap. I really do, as well as the fact that they traded for him. Okay, they didn't just sign him off the street over to one of these 1-year deals like everyone else. They wanted him. They know that he knows something, and I like that. I like that Mannion wanted to go out and they got someone who he worked with, and that's why I think Wicks is the most important wide receiver.
Okay,
you sold me. You sold me. I was gonna make the obvious choice, but you sold me.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Talk about the obvious choice.
I don't disagree.
He's got a big role.
I don't disagree. So I mean, all of these guys are going to be important, obviously. So, I mean, Smith is he did it before without AJ Brown. He had a really good year before AJ Brown. I forget who was opposite of him, but he's still. I mean, he makes some nasty catches. Yeah, he makes some great. He makes some hell of a catches. I mean, he gets hit, he goes down. I don't think that kid's getting up because he's like a toothpick. He gets up and he goes back out the next. I mean, I'm hoping Wicks is out there and Lemon takes a little bit of pressure off him like Brown did. But yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the wide receivers at all this year.
No,
honestly, not.
I agree, both of you guys. I think that Wicks is important. I think Devontae is the most important. I expect him to have a huge year.
I agree.
So if you're like a fantasy guy, like I'm thinking double-digit touchdowns, and I'm thinking 12 or 1,300 yards minimum. Like if assuming everybody stays healthy and assuming that the offense operates the way it does, because fucking they didn't have anybody like this in Green Bay when Mannion was there with Jordan Love, but Jordan Love still puts up 4,000 yards, 4,500 yards or whatever, with a bunch of guys catching 700, 800 yards. So I think Smitty's going to fucking explode. I really do.
All right,
and yep, perfect. I'm glad you brought it up.
There you go.
That's perfect. Mike nails it.
So remember that, Steve, when we do our fantasy drafts at the end of the summer, I'm going to switch it to an auction draft, and we're going to both bid Devonta Smith up on Rob. Yep.
There you
go. This is a discussion between the champion and the commissioner that we'll have to have at another time.
It's not collusion because it's out there already. It's not
I don't
collusion.
even remember if I made the playoffs last year, guys, to be perfectly honest. I thought I did, but maybe I didn't.
I
don't-
won, so I know
don't
I
remember
did.
either. I had a horrible year. Horrible.
All right, so moving on in the offense, what do we think about in the running backs room? Who is the most important? Or is there somebody else there that you think, I don't want to say surprises us, but is there somebody there more important than Saquon, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's Saquon Barkley. So last year, Diggs, I mean, he did well. He was ripping off like 4 or 5 yards a carry when he was in. So I'm kind of looking forward to him getting more time, maybe spelling Saquon a little bit. But then they also signed Elijah Mitchell, who was Christian McCaffrey's backup for many years in San Francisco. And when McCaffrey went down, Elijah Mitchell actually he ran away with it until he got hurt 3 games later.
Yes.
Because I know I've had him a few years too.
As have I. He's one of those names that I always think about grabbing.
So I'm wondering if they're kind of going to, maybe rotate the backs a little bit more, give Barkley a little bit, maybe, get Barkley in motion and catching some passes, outside, and over the line, and not like these, very telegraph friggin' swing patterns that where everybody
he took
gets
a lot
killed.
of contact at the line last year.
Yeah.
And if we make him do that again this year, I don't think it looks good for him.
So,
and I think that Saquon's willing to block too. So, I mean, like if you have Saquon out there and you have Mitchell or Tank like in the backfield, and again, this past season, even with the bad offensive line, you gave it to Tank, he gave you a spark. Sig was right. I don't think he had like a run less than 4 yards. Like, and then you would go back to Saquon because he would spell him, and then like Saquon would get 1 or 2 yards. Like it was just, I don't know what it was with Tank but and again more Mitchell, excuse me, Elijah. Like if he can stay healthy, like that's nice. That's a nice 1, 2, 3. And like even if like Saquon goes out for a quarter or something like that, or equipment or something, like that's like those are 2 capable running backs that can hold the fort down. Like if Saquon were to miss a game or something like that,
Mike mentioned Shipley.
It's great.
Mike mentioned Shipley here. And
I think they like him a lot too.
I think they do too. And I think if it comes down to if Mitchell plays special teams, I think then he gets a spot on the roster.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he may be looking at like a practice squad spot, unless he just really impresses.
There's always injuries.
Preseason.
Mm-hmm. You never know.
Guys are going to get.
And I just want to jump back real quick. Drunk Phil's fans jumped on and said "fuck," and I believe that was in response to Alex's "fuck the Cowboys." Drunk Phil's fans was less than a minute too late, so sorry about that, DPF.
No, they'll find us one of these days. I don't know.
That's right. That's right. All right,
and then next then?
And then as far as the offense goes, all right. So we got the quarterback room. Tell me what you think about the quarterback room, because we do have some interesting names, to say the least, there.
I mean, go ahead, Sig.
Yeah, we got 4 guys. So, I mean, obviously, probably the most important person on the team is Jalen Hurts. How's he going to do under center? How's he going to do, with all the motion? But you got Andy Dalton, the Joker. We got Tanner McKee, and remind me the kid's name, Cole Payton. Which is another one of these like Taysom Hill kind of players.
North Dakota State, yeah.
I don't see Payton going, and they're not going to start the year with 4 quarterbacks.
No.
It comes down to, in my opinion, is it Dalton or McKee is the backup. It's not a money thing. They're both making around the same thing, believe it or not. It's not much difference. I think one of them will be traded. I think McKee probably has more value as far as being traded. I could see McKee going somewhere.
Mhm.
But I guess right now it's not a bad thing to have in for preseason. Enough reps going around for everybody, but I just don't see how you can lock up a fourth roster spot. I mean, a fourth quarterback spot on your roster going
Well,
into
and
the
the other
season.
thing,
Absolutely not.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing with that, Sig, is I understand that Cole Payton is a maneuver, like can do like the tight end thing and stuff like the Taysom Hill. But the problem is you can't be the third string quarterback and do that. Like that is an actual roster spot, which
Yeah.
is why like when you did it like back in the day with Carson and Jalen was the number 2 quarterback. So you could come in and you could do those wacky things because Jalen was on the roster that day. Like Cole, like again, if like one of them, either Andy Dalton or Tanner McKee are traded, Cole can't be on the roster unless if like he'll dress as an emergency, but both of the other 2 quarterbacks have to get hurt for him to go in. It's not like a decision. So that's legitimately a roster spot. So someone like a Taysom Hill, like unless if you're gonna, be how big is he? Is he large at all? Actually, 232, 6'2", 232. All right, that's not bad. That's a big boy. You can catch a ball. But you're not going to burn a roster spot on it. I agree with Sig. You're trading one of them, and chances are, if you're going to trade one, you're trading Tanner McKee because the higher upside. It's the end of his rookie deal, and or it could be one of the things where maybe it is Andy Dalton. Maybe you drafted somebody in the 3rd round. Maybe you drafted somebody in the 3rd round and they're not ready yet. And I mean, Andy Dalton can throw a football. Like he'll go out there. I mean, he's done it forever now. So I mean, like, I agree that one of them is getting traded, but I might have just actually talked myself into Andy Dalton because think about Flacco. Remember when we signed Flacco? And then he never played for us, and then we traded Flacco away to the the Browns or the Bengals? Which one? He went to one of those. But we traded him for like a pick or something, and then and of course in Flacco-esque, he ended up playing.
So Walt's saying, when will they make the trade? Will they wait? And I think they do wait. I think they wait to see because
injuries and shit during camp.
Yeah, you got to wait to see how it all shakes out. And I don't think Dalton gets traded to go be a backup elsewhere. I think he gets traded to go start for a few weeks while somebody else, like while the starter of Team X, gets healthy. I can't see Dalton getting traded. I also can see them trading McKee to become like a possible starter somewhere, or at least compete for a starting spot. I just don't think he has the value that he once did.
I was shocked with the draft.
Terrible showing last year when he played. Mm-hmm. And it's not his fault because the offensive line played poorly for everybody. They didn't, they were injured for everybody. So it wasn't just, it wasn't all on McKee, but he didn't have a chance to prove otherwise after looking bad in that game.
I'm really shocked that he wasn't. Yeah, I agree with you that he wasn't traded at the draft.
While I do think they like him, I don't think they like him enough to not answer the phone. Put it that way.
Well, of course not. They drafted another quarterback,
and that's the other proof, because I don't think they're going to keep McKee and Peyton as their second and third stringers. Even if Peyton's not going to dress, but I don't know if you go into the season with McKee as your number 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
could be open.
And then the last offensive position group is tight end. Is there anybody more important than Dallas Goedert?
More important? No. Goddard's still your boy right now, but I mean, we got to see something out of this other kid that they drafted, and I forget his. Yeah, thank you.
Stallard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he could be a guy who, if Goddard gets hurt, like there's not this huge drop off, just because, although I really like Goddard. I think Goddard is a great pass catcher. He's a good blocker. He's, you know, he does a lot of what you want a fucking tight end to do.
Absolutely. It's just a spot that you can't tie up that kind of money anymore.
Yeah.
When you got a lot of guys coming up that you got to put contracts, you know, new contracts, especially on the defensive side. And
yeah,
so
they have to pay a lot of people.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I'm gonna argue Eli Stowers, the rookie, the new dude on this. And the reason I say that is because of the injuries to Dallas Goedert and the fact that Grant Calcaterra or whoever hasn't been able to take that number 2 tight end spot and run with it, if you will, and or be. I mean, Grant can block, and Jalen finds them every now and then, but like, it's not like a legit two tight end system. I really feel like you're going to see some of that in the Mannion offense this year with having Eli and Dallas Goedert in 2 tight end sets, and either of them could get the ball. Like, I didn't feel that way when you're doing a 2 tight end set with Calcaterra and Goddard. They're going to go for Goddard. Now you have somebody else who legitimately can. I think the backup tight end spot is huge because, again, when Dallas Goedert doesn't play, the tight end position really suffers. I mean, really suffers. Whereas, like, when you had a game where AJ didn't play and you had Devontae Smith and Dodson and everything, and you were fine. Same thing, or vice versa. If Smith were out, you had Dodson who could, come out on the edges and stuff. So I think Eli's important. I really do. I think he's going to be. And again, I talked about this at the draft this is exactly the time where they did the same thing where they got Selleck and then they got Ertz and then they got Goddard. Like, these are their second round guys that they love. And this is the exact same thing. Like, it would be nice to see. Dallas is going to miss a game. He just is. The poor guy just can't stay healthy. Even after all these touchdowns this past year, he'll miss a game. And I don't want to say I'm excited to see him miss a game, but I'm excited to see what Eli can do in the starting spot and to show if, like, okay, I can take the rings and be that guy in 2027. That's what I kind of want to see.
Agreed. Now we'll flip the field. What about talking about defense? Like, when I sent this, I kind of broke it up: D tackle and then edge. But let's just talk about the D line.
Just line.
Let's talk about the D line. Who's the most important Eagle on the defensive line?
Again, I mean, Carter's your big guy up the middle. I don't know. I'm.
It's a hard question.
Well, I mean, again, just like the offensive line, they're all kind of important. They're all part of the whole, and if one of them's hurt or missing, that's a weakness right there. So it's kind of hard to pick somebody. I'm looking forward to seeing Grenard. I mean, he was replacing Phillips, who replaced, I don't even remember who now. He's probably the guy that's going to put up, the most pressure from. It's tough. I mean, Carter, Jordan, Davis. I don't know.
Yeah.
If Davis is playing, you can't run against the Eagles. If he's playing at his top, and that's a big plus. I
go Davis simply because
I agree. I'm
of
Davis,
his breakout year last year, and then the leadership that he showed last year. Like, he became a vocal leader, like I don't want to say vibes, but he became like a emotional leader on this team. And Carter, meanwhile,
somebody got paid.
Yeah, well, that helps too, right? And that helps.
Yeah.
That helps. I think he's going to come out equally motivated. I think he's going to come out and want to prove himself. And Carter, for all his good qualities, and he is a beast. He's a game wrecker. Like, I wanted to kind of give him the benefit of the doubt coming out of Georgia, and I still do. But man, like,
He does
You make-
stupid things.
multiple bad decisions kind of speaks to character, right? And when he continues to do these things, whether it's spitting in Dak's face, I mean, that was just dumb. And I don't. It was just ill-timed and ill-conceived. I take back the word dumb, but it was just it was just not a good idea, especially you haven't even.
It was dumb.
It
was dumb.
There you
It
go.
was dumb. I know.
Right.
I know. Dak spit,
Dak's a jerk off. Dak is a jerk.
but I mean,
Period.
he goaded him into it.
But you don't do it. You don't do it to get like that in front, like with all the cameras on you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
There's a
eyes
camera
are on
trained on
you.
him all game.
Yep. Eyes are on you. You're a repeat offender, things like that. No, Rob, I'm with you. That's why I was Jordan Davis. I think Jordan Davis really because there's a mature factor too. And
Correct.
that was the whole reason why bringing Jalen Carter here is because they're like, if anybody can try and keep Carter under wraps, it's Jordan Davis. They're buddies. And I think with seeing what happened where Jordan got his bag, if you will, this past off season, he showed improvement and he showed maturity. Maybe this is something that can help Jalen Carter maybe be like, look, he was a first round pick and now he's got his second contract. They like him enough to give him his second contract. Whereas this offseason, we heard trade rumors about Carter for Myles Garrett or something like that. We didn't hear that about Jordan Davis. All we heard about was that we re-signed him, which means there's no reason for us to move him anywhere. So I think that is something that maybe sheds a light, hopefully, to Jalen Carter and be like, look, this organization will take care of you. We will pay you, but you can't be doing dumbass things and expecting us to give you a bunch of money. That's just not going to happen. So Jordan Davis is my guy for defensive line.
Now we got Mike. There we go. He says if our D tackles are both healthy, they will be a force and open it up for our edge rushers. Keeping a rotation at end will be the key to keep pressure on the quarterbacks. And I think, Sig, you mentioned Jonathan Grenard, and they also have Jalix Hunt, who seems to be on the rise still. Nolan Smith, let's, again, stay healthy. And he seems to be a player. He seems to be a guy with a high motor that can get to the quarterback. So he makes plays. And then I don't really know anything about the depth pieces, Joe Tryon, Shoyinka, and Jose Ramirez, and Arnold Ebikidi. Like I don't know anything about these guys, so I wouldn't expect anything out of them. But the like Jay Alexander Grenard's the guy. Grenard's probably going to end up with double digit, well into the double digit sacks.
Can we do we want to touch on the rumor that's out there since you mentioned Nolan Smith and we're talking about the defensive line and it's been out there a little while? I mean, do we want to talk about rumors or no?
Rumors are meant to be talked about.
Speaking of rumors, real quick, I just want to address Drunk Phil's fan said, I'm glad you guys fired AI. Oh, wait.
No, that's Al.
Oh, I'm glad you guys fired Al.
Allen Iverson, we asked him. He declined. So there's no AI, but Al is,
unfortunately, Al could not be with us tonight. I think I forgot to send him the link. So he can't be with us because he doesn't have access to the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Al he had prior commitments, which we're going to have a talk about prior commitments because, when that starts to become an issue and you don't prioritize Drunk Eagles fans, birds on tap. And it's just, we have to decide if things are going to work out or not. I mean, I understand he's a gym teacher and he inspires hundreds, if not thousands, of young Philadelphians every day. But
we inspire a lot more drunks.
And we do. We have 35,000 followers.
And Joey asked if Pick was already on summer vacation. It's quite possible. We may be seeing pictures on Drunk Eagles fans of
Every beer he
Al
drinks
having
on
a
the
good
beach.
time.
the
Yeah.
beach or some kind of limbo contest in the middle of the night down in Jamaica. I don't know.
Love
You
it.
know, where
Love
in
it.
the world is Pick?
He'll be back.
Yes, he will. He'll be back next podcast.
That's it. Walt hit it. Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I'm like, Walt said the same thing. And he's right. If Jalen wants to get that contract, like, you got to show maturity this year. You can't be spitting on people the first down of the game or the season after you just raised a world championship banner. Come on. All
Right,
the
so
eyes are on you. What's wrong with you?
Sid, go ahead with your rumor, because I wanted to talk about this trade rumor.
All right, so this has been bounced around of late, I guess, and since Myles Garrett got traded, it's kind of come back again, and that's the Eagles trading for Max Crosby. And supposedly, from what I'm hearing, there's a couple people who are ballyhooing this, ex-players. Chase Daniels, the linebacker, Bart, I can't remember his first name anyway. And supposedly they're saying it's very similar to the Garrett deal, which I guess, is easy enough to say. So let's just say that. And Nolan Smith is the guy going back instead of Verse. First off, no offense to Nolan Smith, but he's no Verse or Curse. I'm sorry.
No, Verse. Jared
Verse.
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 Jared
And
Verse.
I think they gave up a 2027 1, 2028 2, and then a third round pick the following year, something like that. The Eagles had the picks to do that, especially now that they have 2 first rounds in 2028. I
28.
don't know what his knee is like. We'd have to look at that. After all, that's the Cowboys said it was toast, and then Baltimore said it was toast. So, but I'm all in for that. I don't know how they make it work cap wise either.
I mean,
he's like 35, like 35 a year, and Eagles only have about 26 right now.
Yeah, you only have to figure it out for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably have to renegotiate it somehow.
Yeah. Howie's no stranger to the Dodgers, delayed.
I realize that. It's just a lot of money to try to work in, especially when you're carrying 4 freaking quarterbacks.
Well, I think that they would be able to do it. And the reason I say that is I believe Myles Garrett is getting 35 a year as well, or in that range. I want to say after the AJ trade or whatever, I believe they have like 32 million open. And if you're going to trade Nolan Smith, I understand that he's still on a rookie deal, so it's not that much money, but I mean, that would make up the difference. I would do it. I mean, if you could just, oh my goodness, could you just imagine that? Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Max Crosby. Are you kidding me? Every single other quarterback across the lines is shitting himself. Honestly, that's terrifying.
If you can make that deal, you do it every fucking time. And
you're looking at the Rams now. The Rams loaded up to win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. You're damn right they did.
They did.
So if you want to win,
and they got significantly better. Even though Verse is a very, very, very good player.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
But Myles Garrett is great.
Yeah.
100%.
Max Crosby, I don't know if he's great at this point, but he's several verys and good compared
he's 28.
to Nolan Smith.
If he's healthy, he is.
Yeah.
If his knee is sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing. Like
on a team with
Nolan 25.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't even name anyone else on the defensive line in the Raiders. I was going to say
no, neither can I.
Las Vegas.
Neither can I.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
I have no idea who's in Vegas. I make it my business to not know anything about anything Tom Brady's doing, that fucking shitbag. All right, let's move to the backfield, the defensive backfield. We'll lump them all together. We'll say, the corners and the nickels and the slots and the safeties, because they have to play as a unit back there. Who's the most important player in the defensive backfield for the Eagles, guys?
I'm saying safety right now. Because it's Marcus Epps. He's the only man. It's his job to lose. If he can't handle it, that's an Achilles heel. Howie's going to have to make a move or two there if it becomes an issue.
That's a haymaker answer, Sig.
So
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, everybody else. Yeah, I mean, you know, Cooper DeJean. I mean, all these guys. You know, if Epps can't play safety, you know, you better get Max Crosby.
Sean McVay, the most hated coach. I don't think Sean McVay's hated.
Oh, I fucking hate him. I hate his stupid haircut.
Well, all right.
He goes out there with a faux hawk. It's like, come on, dude. What are you, 12?
He wears his wife's,
skivvies,
exercise pants, the spandex. Yeah, I mean, you know. Now, I don't hate him, but he seems like a twat.
All right, Jake, your band. Jake, your band.
Bunk it.
I'm gonna go Reek Woolen actually on the as a corner. Reason I say that, well, Sig nailed it with safety. You need more people at safety. We don't have a lot of safeties. I'm still waiting for that Reed Blankenship replacement off of what is it, the list, the inactive list, not inactive list, you know, the
physically unable to perform.
No, damn it.
Squad?
What?
Practice
squad. That's it. Yeah. I'm still waiting for that person to come up, if you will, or someone else that he signs in August. No, I'm going Woolen only because I understand it's only a 1-year deal, but with what we were just talking about with safety, there's going to be times where Cooper DeJean is going to be like starting corner. And then you're going to need Woolen to do the, you know, in the slot. So I feel like, and again, like he can be a head case and he gets these penalties. I think it's huge that he does some maturing this year too. Again, he only got a 1-year deal, so that could be a reason for something where like a good team like the Eagles are like, all right, we'll give you a 1-year deal. Rather than signing with, you know, someone who would give you multi-year. So I think he has a lot to prove, and I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him and Coop to switch out on the being like the 1 and 2 on the outside, and then being in the slant. So Woolen's he's gonna be my dude.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that signing because I think it allows Coop to remain the Swiss Army knife guy in the defensive backfield. I like him in the slot, but I also like him playing like kind of like a hybrid linebacker safety. Like he can play every position back there, and I'm not saying he's great at all of them, but he's definitely serviceable at each and every position in the defensive backfield. So having Woolen there to play that outside or to play the slot and give them the flexibility. Epps is a solid player. Epps is a guy who, you know, he's been in the league a while. He's going to make a couple boneheads. He's going to bite hard on a fucking go on a hitch and go or a fucking, you know, it's inevitable. He's going to, but he's a solid player. Like, I don't think he's the be all end all. I don't think he's going to change the defense in any way, but having him there, and if he's healthy, it's a spot you don't have to worry about. You know what I mean? Like it's taken care of.
Yep.
I'm anxious to see how much we miss if we miss Blankenship.
Yep.
You know, because he turned himself into a pretty fucking good player, man. Like,
yes, he did.
You know,
turned himself into a nice little rich safety too.
Well,
good,
now, yeah,
good for him. Good for him. He came from the practice squad. I understand it wasn't with us, but I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. Like, good for you, dude. You got more than like a 1-year deal.
I got a big.
He got a 3-year deal. He got a big deal. Like, I'm happy for him. He earned it. Like, yeah. You know, those are the kind of players you look at and like you root for, and you're like happy that it's like, okay, you weren't drafted 3rd overall, so you don't have all these, like, he had to work his ass off, and now he finally got a good contract. Like, good for him. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah. All right. Special teams, guys. I put it on there just because it is one of the units. Is there anything like, what are we talking about here with special teams? You know, is Elliott on his way out? Is who's our punter? Cam Johnston? Is it Sean Landetta? Who's our punter?
No, Braden Mann.
Yeah, I'm joking, but you know,
yeah, Braden Mann. Yeah, he did awesome last year. He was our best damn like player last year, honestly. Like,
yeah.
On special teams, he did great.
I'm surprised they haven't brought anybody in to compete with Elliott.
100%.
Damn right.
They may still. They brought
his son or
David
something
Akers'
in.
Kid.
Oh,
they brought in David Akers' kid.
That's right. I did. Yeah,
And
that sounds like a favor to David. You know,
well,
we'll bring him in. Yeah, sure. Kick the ball around a little bit. Fucking go stand on the sideline.
Yeah, but that's what David Akers was to us. He was just some reject that, like, he kicked like a game or two for Washington, and that was it. Like, I love Jake Elliott. I do. I love what he has done for us in the past. But you should have brought some competition in for him this offseason before renewing the contract. You had to out in his contract, and you didn't take it. And I don't like that, especially for the last 2 years, how he's been kicking. And the fact that this dude, you're scared at a 48-yard field goal. The league is now kicking 60-yard field goals every single week, you are not. You are not able to.
Every team rotates these guys like every 2 years,
right?
I would think for a reason. I mean, like Younghoe Koo was like the greatest freaking kicker for the longest time, and then he wound up on the Jets, and now the Jets released. It's like these guys only have like a short shelf life. Elliott's been here forever. Yeah. I mean, Elliott's got like jobs. He's got like photos of Sirianni or something. I don't know, or fucking Roseman.
I just think that I think that Roseman is very loyal to certain people. And I think Elliott's one of them. They got him the first championship. And as long as he could still kind of do his job, I mean, but he's had some downs.
The last 2 years have been awful. Awful.
The kickoffs, like he couldn't figure out the landing zone at first. And then like he struggled with that. And then, so he's here until he's not, right? I think that's the long and the short of it. I would like to see some competition, though. I'm sure
I have another haymaker for this special teams, though, too.
Lay it out.
All right, so rookie long snapper Rocco Underwood. He signed as an undrafted free agent out of Florida. He's the only long snapper, and I don't know why they can't come up with a better name for that. But anyway, he's the only long snapper in the 90-man roster. And the plan is for Rocco to be the organization's long-term answer at the position.
Here he is. Rocco Underwood.
I hope this guy can fucking long snap, because that might be another position where you can pull a guy out somewhere, and I don't know.
All right, I'm reading.
Rob, you could probably do it, as long as you could do it fast enough to get it,
I got a funny story about that in just a second, but it says here that Rocco Underwood, as a long snapper, can snap it extremely long. That's what it says on his Wikipedia.
Well,
page.
I mean, that was his resume as an undrafted free agent.
I don't know how recently this was updated.
Look,
but extremely long. That's a good thing, right?
Was that written by Chick Snapper?
So all right. So going into my freshman year in high school at Roman Catholic, my friend, friends, because it was Harry, Mike, and Chrissy Carr. Their dad, Big Hair, was the offensive line coach, and he wanted me to play center. And he was like, "No, you're doing it. You can do it." I never played a snap of organized football. I don't think I've ever worn shoulder pads. My mom did not want me to play. She thought I was going to get hurt. Little did she know. But yeah, he wanted me to be the center. He said he would put two big guys right next to me so that they couldn't just like, because I was about the same height. I was probably like 5'4" back then. But yeah, I never did, but it was pretty fun. I probably would have gone into the NFL had I just taken Big Harris guidance.
Yep. His advice.
So you would have seen a one-arm center out there.
That would have been awesome.
Whatever Cahill Field, which was basically just like concrete and broken glass up at like 29th and Clearfield or whatever it was. Yeah, in North Philly, which is where Roman played their home games.
With I enjoyed that. With Jake Elliott the last 2 years, in 2024 he was 1 for 7 with 50-yard field goals, and last year he was 4 for 8. So if you put those together, the last 2 years he has only made 33% of a field goal 50 yards or more, which is highly unacceptable. It is at 70%. It is at 70% average now in the NFL. That is a huge drop off. And that is why I am upset that they did not bring anyone in and they didn't even think about it. They just automatically, like, you had it out in the contract and then you just picked it up for more. Like, that's my problem. Like, if everyone's doing these 60-yard kicks and stuff like that, you've made 5. You've made 5 in the last 30, how many games? Because you won the Super Bowl. So you won the Super Bowl. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 39 games. In the last 39 games, you've made 5 50-yard field goals. That is unacceptable. That's just straight up truth. Actually, no, let's take out the playoffs because that's a different thing, and he's actually been okay there. But still, 5 in 34 games, you're not going to win that way.
No, it's you have to have somebody with a fucking leg, and it's Jake. I just don't think he can do it anymore. Guys, let's real quick before we go. Well, let's shift gears. So we covered all the position groups, and we didn't really talk about this last pod because it hadn't happened yet, and this is our first pod since the trade. But we're going to talk AJ real quick, because we have to. But before we go, like, I want to get your.
Uh-oh. Everybody froze, but me. Hello? All right, so I guess I am here to entertain you.
Oh, we don't have to see you. I want to hear what you got to say. There's Rob. There he is.
I'm back. Yeah, that was me freezing, I guess.
Both of you guys froze on me.
Oh, it was just Rob for me.
Both of you froze, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to carry this on myself. Okay.
It's fucking Iran hacking us.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So
no, Walt said his cable just went out. Okay.
Oh no. All right. Well,
so
we're alive now.
So what I was trying to say before Walt's cable went out was
it's Walt's fault.
It's his cable's fault at least. No, the way that the radio, like the sports talk radio, and then not just locally, but nationally, like, ESPN and NFL Network, the way that these guys covered AJ and the way that they just like, it just pisses me off because now they're all just talking shit on him. Like, oh, he wrote something on a picture on his way out the door about being the best ever in Philly. Who gives a fuck? Like, let's be honest. We know who he is. Like, are we surprised that Water's wet? Are we surprised that Santa's fat? Like, are we really surprised that AJ wrote something on a fucking, like, where he was supposed to sign a thing, on his way out the door, his picture, because he's a Pro Bowler, that he said something, you know what I mean? Like, are we surprised? Is that really worth getting all bent out of shape about? And then, so you're hearing today all about who the best Eagles wide receivers were and this, that, and the other. So why give him that kind of energy when He forced his way out of here. We know this. Now, T.O. was right about Donovan. Maybe AJ is right about Hurts. Like you know what I mean? Like he knows something more than I know. He knows something more than the knuckleheads on the radio know. So if he's saying these things, just because everybody else on the team isn't saying it doesn't mean it's not true. It just means that AJ is the only person speaking up. All that said, fuck him. He can go to fucking New England and have his career fizzle out, and he can play for those fucking scumbags up there. That's fine. But to rewrite history and to say that he was this, that, and the other thing, he was a great fucking receiver, and he was a huge part of 2 Super Bowl, one winning, one got to the Super Bowl.
One we should have won.
Right. So, like, no matter what you say about him, he was a fucking great Eagle. You know, it's just they're all jumping on him, they're all attacking him, and I think it's fucking hilarious.
You know, and we talked about this before we went on the air. I mean, it's just typical for sports and sport talk radio, and now you add in the internet, and anybody who has any kind of friggin' Twitter handle or whatever can throw any kind of shit out there, and none of it's fact checked, because You know what? That's funny, that shit, and I'm going to go post it. Rumors say, and then next thing, 15 people down the line, now it's a story, and it really doesn't matter if it's true or not, because it's getting headlines, it's getting clicks. You know, I mean, it's not. You know, it's like anything anymore. So, you know, and there are a good amount of people that just believe shit at face value. And you know, probably older people too, because we do believe shit at face value, because that's the way it was for the most part. Reporting was honest and everything like that. But it is kind of silly. And you even had Big Dom, which also is a story on its own as to why he's fucking as famous as any player. But supposedly, I mean, he came when he said all this bullshit that you're hearing between, you know, about him and Hassan Reddick, and, you know, and smashing the same girl, which I still love the term smashing the same girl. You know, it's not, all that is bullshit. It's because of Hurts' perceived reluctance to target Brown on tight window throws against zone coverage. That was Big Dom's comment, based on what I guess he's understood or heard from, you know, Brown or Hurts. Now it's important to know who he heard that from, because then they can misconstrue it. So it's all bullshit. It doesn't matter. It was the biggest fucking non-secret in the world. Everyone knew the Eagles were doing it. Everyone knew, well, the Eagles wanted to do it. Eagles had hardly any leverage because it wasn't any secret. I would like to have seen, if nothing, if they just said, all right, well, we'll fucking keep them for a year. And, you know,
and don't
we'll trade them by November, whatever the trade deadline is. They really didn't have a whole lot of leverage yet. They still got a number 1 pick.
Right.
Okay.
They get a 1 and a 3.
They got a 1 and a 5. And the 5 is next year. And the 1 is 2028. You know, and you got all these nitwits. And I'm sorry if somebody out there is one of the nitwits, but you're a nitwit. You know, well, 2028 is really like a number 2 or number 3. No, it's a fucking number 1 in 2028.
Correct.
It's a number 1. Yes, I know the draft's not as deep, but the draft wasn't that deep this year. And I'm glad we had a number 1.
And we have our own number 1 in 2028. And we
right. So we got 2 number 1s. Right. I mean, it's fine. I don't have a problem the fact it's 2 drafts away. I really don't. And God, you know, we know Howie. We won't even have that pick.
No.
By the time the next draft comes around, we won't have that pick.
It's going to say, like, you know, picking now, it'll be like Cleveland via the Jets, via the Eagles, via New England.
Meanwhile, we picked up 5 guys that are all starting by the time that draft pick comes around that we don't have anymore, like with Wentz. I mean, so I'm not worried about it. I think I don't know. I mean, we had no leverage, but we knew the Pats wanted him.
And
I mean,
this
they
is the
wanted
other part
him.
of that, is that people that morning, people were going on the radio, people with sources and people with fucking inside information were saying that it's just going to be a number one. It's just going to be a number one. I know what the deal is. It's going to be a number one. Schefter's out there saying it's just going to be a number one. And everyone, like, they were all out there, all these insiders, and they were fucking wrong.
Yep.
So it just goes to, I mean, they got a fifth. It's not much more, but it's more. It's not the fucking deal that they said it was. And you got all these people out there saying, I know, I'm an insider. AJ himself came out and said, I was leaking information. It doesn't make it true, but he was the one who was feeding the fucking press. That's how fucking dumb some of the, let's just say, journalism.
It's a story. But it's a story to run with. It doesn't matter. And he is an insider. You know what I mean? You know, AJ, so you're going to believe him. You're going to believe him.
It's true.
I mean, they wanted a 1 and a 2, you know, originally. The Pats told them that, go see if you can get it and come back, you know? And they, I guess they perceivably did that over the Rams. They talked to, you know, whoever. And then it comes out, well, we're not doing anything until June 1st. Okay. And we all saw that, you know, the teams that are supposedly interested that bailed out and blah, blah, blah. So it's no surprise they didn't get a 1 and a 2. They did lose most of the leverage. But they still knew the Pats wanted him. So they knew they were getting something, and it was more important to shed the money than anything else. So, you know, and the fact that they still got a number 1, they didn't get a 2, which is an excellent pick also. You know, they got a 5. Okay. So they're going to use that 5 next year with their number 1, and they're going to move up to like 19 and, I don't know, take whoever from the Cowboys or
they'll
somebody.
Trade 2 5s for a 4, or 2 5s for a 3, or something like that. And then they'll pick up a depth piece.
I'm not worried about draft picks and Howie Roseman and whatever. He'll turn that into fucking gold.
Yeah. So with the AJ Brown thing, you know, I saw numerous reports or like tweets where it's like, okay, the Eagles gave up a first and a third, had them for 4 years. You get back a first and a fifth, and in those 4 years, got 1,000 yards every year. You went to 2 Super Bowls and you won 1. Great deal.
Pretty good deal.
It's true. That being said, I think AJ Brown is a great player. I think he is a good locker room presence. And I think that a lot of my life, I've had nothing but shitty wide receivers. And now I finally have a good one. And now this good one wants to leave town because of Jalen Hurts. I trade Jalen Hurts. I think that any other quarterback could be fine with this offense. I think any other quarterback last year would have been fine. I think Andy Dalton would have been better last year with this offense. If you were to replace the quarterback, you would continue to have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and everyone would be happy. Nobody in that locker room disliked him except A.J. and him, or A.J. and Jalen. Jalen, this is his last year of guaranteed money. You could have traded him, and one team would only have to pay him for the 1 year before either releasing him or doing whatever. This is a make it or break it year for Jalen. If he does not succeed, if he doesn't get injured and the Eagles do not make the playoffs, he is not your quarterback in 2027. So for this, you now got rid of a top 10, a top 5 wide receiver because of Jalen Hurts. And with that, Howie Roseman is not going to give Jalen Hurts $50-60 million a year. He's not, nor should he. We're not going to give Dak money because look at what Dak's doing, and Dak can throw the ball better than Jalen.
It handcuffed us. I am not. That money handcuffed us.
Yep. And that's exactly what it is. So if I was going to have dead money, I would have rather had dead money this year from Jalen Hurts rather than having dead money this year and next year for A.J. Brown. Not only that, that same day, even before, well, we all knew about the AJ thing, but announced before that was the Myles Garrett trade. Okay, with the Myles Garrett trade, before that trade, the Eagles were a 1 in 18 shot to win the Super Bowl. After that trade, they immediately went 1-19. The Rams were the favorites to win the Super Bowl before that trade at 750 or at plus 750. They do that trade and they are now at 550. That one trade showed so much in the NFC. And then what do we go and do? That's a defense that we're playing this year. That's a defense that is going to be one of the best in the NFC. And what did we do? We traded away our best wide receiver.
Yep. So
our offense is not going to be as good because of this. Any other quarterback could have done this. I'm a Jalen Hurts supporter. I really am. But now that this has happened and you break things down, we've had our Todd Pinksons and our James Trashes, and we finally get a good wide receiver. And what do? You go to the Super Bowl. It's the same exact thing here now. But the problem was after T.O. left, you didn't go back for 13 years.
Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is my take on it. I would love to have A.J. Brown right here, right now. And I don't know what our odds are now that we traded him. Your team is worse.
Just to be fair sorry, I'm pointing right at the camera. Just to be fair, all the same people who are now bashing AJ for the way he left were 95% of them were saying that Jalen isn't good enough.
And I'm like, why didn't we lead with this? Because I
told you I wanted to talk about it.
Actually, because it goes right into the whole Jalen Hurts controversy, right, for lack of a better term. I know Rob wants to get his tapioca and go to bed, but it's
that magical hour long, but we can keep going.
I mean, I do think that
let them want some more next.
This is a prime topic for the next pod, the Jalen Hurts question, and see where we go with that. But and again, I go back to what we said earlier with the 4 quarterback. There's a reason why we drafted a quarterback. Is it just in case Jalen is not what we wanted, or do we know he's not? Or do they know he's not? I don't know. No one else had problems with A.J. Brown. So.
Yeah, I don't think Cole Stanton or whatever the fuck.
Neither do I. Neither do I. Neither do I.
But the implication is that they drafted a quarterback while still having Hurts like under contract, but the guaranteed money is gone. It is an interesting little. Like it's a wink and a nod by Howie and the front office to let everybody know.
Is it just a poke?
It could be a poke to Jalen.
Be a
poke to Jalen and just say, "Hey, man,
you got to wake up,
we're watching. Dude. Yeah, we're watching. We're paying attention." I don't. That is a conversation for another show, but it's
That's how we'll leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tune in next week. Tune in next week when we argue about Jalen Hurts, only here on Drunk Eagles Fans.
That's right. Birds on tap. Steve's about to do some Jameson.
I am. I got my Eagles Jameson. Oh, he called me out on that.
You got to fill that.
I saw the top of the bottle. I knew what it was.
You need to fill that up. Fill it up and drink it.
I'm just finishing off a big boy.
That's weak.
I know. That's why I was just finishing that off.
That's weak.
Yeah, I put the rest of it's in my decanter. I'm not drinking all that.
All right, Bryson just popped out. Bryson Stott just hit a pop out.
He'll do that. That's right.
It's still I get Wheeler up, so I guess I'm ahead of you.
It's
3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 3 Ks, no runs, no earned runs, no walks.
And before we close it up, don't forget to join us tomorrow night. Drunk Flyers fans.
Tomorrow night, Drunk Flyers fans, and then
we'll talk about the off season and such.
A lot more ugly tomorrow night.
Go to
outside of me.
Go to the Drunk Phil's fans page and check out the Dive Bar bus tour that's coming up on July 18th, I believe it is. So you got a little more than a month to grab your tickets. And is that what it is? July 18th?
Yep, it's July 18th.
Yeah.
First
then-
bus is almost sold out, so don't miss a seat on the
From
second
what I
bus.
understand, they had to get a second bus. That's
There you
how
go.
hot these tickets are, man.
There
So
you go.
make sure
I bought two because I want the extra seat, and
because you're gonna be gassy. We know.
yeah,
And then July 20th at Citizens Bank, or actually no, June 20th.
June
That's next
20th. That's what I was
June
going to say.
20th.
June 20th. Yep.
It's fuck the Mets night. DPS fuck the Mets
Yep.
night. We're all going to be
get
taking
your
over
T-shirts
a
that
couple
say
seconds.
even
sections.
Jesus hates the Mets, and
Dude,
go
I
see the
love
Pope.
that.
I got a sweet FTM in pretzel. Drunk Phillies fans underneath. Me and Danielle got the pretzel shirts.
Love it.
Because we're from Philly, just like my name says, wood or ice. Just in case anybody was curious about where I was from.
Boy, Mike
No.
just hit it right
No,
there.
no one really.
Oh, he said pick for skipping the podcast. I was up with
Everything else. We love our pick.
Sorry, Al. All right, Sig,
let's
wrap
get
us
out of
up.
here.
Let's head on out.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Don't forget, look us up on Facebook and Instagram. Fucking go Birds.
Go Birds.
Birds, fuck the Cowboys.
Here's our nice unoriginal rock tune to close us out. And as we go, Mike says, great show, guys.
God.